First of all, give our honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great, mighty, revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but who will by no means clear the guilty. Visiting iniquities of fathers upon children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect for all of ways of justice, God of faithfulness, and without iniquity, just to right his seat. Giving due respect and honor to a head in Israel, Chief Eleazar, to the chief men, princes, brothers and sisters. I see them too. They're talking about forefathers. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom Lekah.
Sukkot shalom.
Sukkot shalom Lekah.
Sukkot meaning the Feast of Tabernacles. Not booths, not none of that. It's tabernacles. In commemoration when they dwelt in tents. Commemoration when they dwelt in tents. In the wilderness. That's when all that commemorated and went down at.
Right.
Most of our festivities went down when we was in the wilderness. Look at it when we left Egypt. Why we observed the Feast of Unleavened Bread in commemoration of the departure of Egypt.
Right.
We couldn't add no leavening in the dough. We left out of Egypt in haste. The Feast of Booth, Feast of Tabernacles, right? In commemoration when our forefathers dwelt in tents in the wilderness. Okay? So we're gonna go through Leviticus chapter 23. Let's go through Leviticus chapter 23. Time sheet.
Leviticus chapter 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
And say unto them.
Concerning
the feast of the Lord.
Concerning the feast. Right?
Right.
And in that verse, it says Moaddai, meaning appointed times or the appointed seasons. Appointed times which were appointed by who? By God. By the Creator. We use this book for a curriculum as a standard of what God called appointed times or what the Creator considered appointed times or appointed seasons. But our forefathers, these so-called Israelites, we are so into being like the people that we live amongst. And why we always want to be like these people that we live amongst, because we're Americanized. Once you analyze yourself, you will see yourself being Americanized. Because of how you deal in your lifestyle and the things that you consider and you lean towards is what tells me that you're Americanized. You think like your mentality is not of Israel. Because if your mentality is of Israel, then you're not gonna add on certain things towards this. This is what made us different. This is what differentiates us from the people. Now, when you start mixing and adding and taking away, there ain't no more difference now. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You don't notice every religion have a savior? Every religion has a savior. God don't talk about no savior in here. Only one person God spoke about bringing somebody back. And that was who? Elijah. And not to save nobody. He said, I'm bringing Elijah back to turn the hearts of the children towards the parents. And the parents, I don't know if it says towards the fathers or towards the mothers, but it's towards the parents. Go to that quick fast. Go to Malachi chapter 4. And then after we go to Malachi chapter 4, we're going to go back to Leviticus 23.
Malachi chapter
4.
For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. The
day cometh that is going to burn as an oven. That day, I don't want to be around. And I ain't praying for it, and I ain't rushing it to come neither. He said, woe to them that what? That look towards or praise that towards the day of God. And the day of the you don't want that day to come. Because you're going to get mixed into it too. Go ahead, read.
And all the proud.
All the who?
Proud.
All the proud shall what?
He said, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Wait a minute. God got something specific. Wait, he said this specifically. Yeah, all the wicked gonna burn, but he went specifically to a certain type of people. He said, everyone that is proud in heart, stubborn, obstinate, you won't yield. What causes me not to yield is because I am proud. And these are things that we need to start wiping away from ourselves. Like we need to start getting rid of this. Because just being proud alone, you'll condemn your own self. He said, and all the proud and all that do wickedly shall be what?
Stubble.
Stubble.
And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name.
Wait. In the day that cometh shall burn them up,
saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you,
go ahead, read.
But unto you that fear my name shall.
He said, cometh that burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. You know what that is? It ain't actually talking about the branches on trees, man.
No.
It ain't talking about no roots and no trees. This is talking about and trickling down into your descendants, your posterity, your children. We jam our own children with our own ways that is against God. I'm proud, and I'm stubborn, and I'm obstinate. And what effect you think is gonna have on your seed? What effect you think is gonna have on your seed? Tom, see?
But unto you that fear my name.
But unto you that fear my name. You know what the word is for fear? You know what the word is for fear? Let me find that, man. Let me find that. Right? It's in here somewhere. Key in there. All right, good. I found it. Boom. But unto you that fear my name. That's the second verse. It also means to consider. When you consider the name of God, you don't profane it. When you fear the name of God, you're going to be on point with yourself. With sins and transgression and doing presumptuous iniquities. Right? He said, but unto you that fear my name, shall what?
Shall the Son of Righteousness.
Shall the Son of Righteousness do what?
Arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the soul.
And this ain't talking about the actual son, S-O-N. It's actually a Shemesh.
It's the S-U-N.
The Shemesh, the Son of Righteousness.
That's right. And ye shall tread down the wicked, shall arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, and there shall be ashes under the soles of your feet. On the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. Remember ye the Lord.
In that day, the wicked ain't gonna stand. In that day, righteousness will take over. Wickedness will be no more. That's not now. This is happening, or this will happen towards the end. Towards the end, Tom C.
Remember ye the law of Moses.
Remember ye the laws of Moses, my servant.
Which I commanded unto you.
Which I commanded unto him.
In Horeb for all Israel.
For all Israel. God gave these commandments to Moses. How do you think Moses wrote those first five? How do you think Moses knew what went down in all these books? Because God told it to him. He wrote it. And when he wrote it, from there, it went to the priest. It went to the priest. Everybody didn't have a book. Because now everybody gonna have an opinion. A say so. They're gonna have a but and an if. Everybody got something to say. Tamshi.
Which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Before the coming and the dreadful day of the Lord.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers
to the children.
To the children.
And the heart of the children to the fathers. Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Okay. Where has she led? And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the sons. Banim. We're led Banim al Abotam to the fathers. Right? Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Let's go back to Leviticus 23.
Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Concerning the feast of God, which ye shall proclaim to be what?
Holy convocations.
Holy convocations. Holy convocations. So, a holy convocation is a gathering of what? A gathering of people.
Right.
We have to gather to have a holy convocation. If you do not gather, you're not convocating. And the Most High was specific on what days we need to gather. Okay, Tamshi.
Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done.
6 days shall work be done.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
But the seventh day is a Sabbath of rest.
A holy convocation.
A holy convocation, a holy gathering.
You shall do no work therein.
You shall do no work therein.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
Even holy convocations.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations.
Which ye shall proclaim in their season.
Which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
In the 14th day.
On the 14th day.
Of the first month.
The first month.
At even.
At evening.
Is the Lord's Passover.
It was only one Passover. And there'll never be another Passover again. No. Never. There is no more death angel flying over the earth. You ain't got to stay in after 12. None of that counts right now. There's no more Passover. There's only one Passover. What we observe is the feast. We're commemorating the Feast of Unleavened Bread. When they ate the bitter herbs and all that, that was just for that time. They didn't continue to eat that. That was just that one time. No way in the book states that they continue to eat that.
No, that was
even in the time of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, when they observed it in the history, they didn't eat no bitter herbs.
No.
They didn't do that. That was just for that one time. Tamshi.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread unto the Lord.
Now, what causes the dough to leaven? In Hosea chapter 7, it states that the kneading of the dough is what caused it to be leavened. They didn't add baking soda because they didn't have baking soda. They didn't add no yeast because they didn't have yeast. And if you sit a dough, nowhere in the book said that if you sit dough, it becomes leavened.
No.
Nowhere in the book said that. Because in the time of Saul, the witch of Endor had some dough sitting. And she plucked the dough and made, if I'm not mistaken, she plucked the dough and made it unleavened. She didn't need it. That's what made it unleavened, because she did not need it. Tamshi.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread.
In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days.
And this is why all these festive appointed times was observed in Jerusalem. Because there was a certain sacrifices that went with these days.
Exactly.
None of this is accepted by God. The only reason why we continue to do it is to commemorate and to be in accord. Some of these days, the Most High said, some of them you read where it says, in all your dwellings, like the Shabbat. And then some of these days, you read where it said, you have to go to Jerusalem. He said, don't go in whatsoever place you desire. He said, make sure you go to Jerusalem.
Right.
And observe these certain days, these appointed times, because it ain't going to be accepted.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days.
7 days.
The 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Ye shall, what verse you at?
That's the end of 8.
End of 8. Ye shall do no what?
Servile work.
No servile work therein. What is servile work? Right? Now, the word that it had for servile work is meleket abora. Lotasu. Right? Meleket is malaka, means work. And abora is to serve. It's servitude. And this is why I tell people, you don't serve me on certain days, on Shabbats, on certain days. Because the book said you can't do no work. And we learn these things by reading the book, going into the Hebrew, and finding out the meaning of it. So when I tell you, yo, don't serve me, the dude gets all distorted. What do you mean? If you're thirsty, I can't get. No, you can't. Let me get my own.
That action is work.
That's why God said, let the maidservants and the men servants rest. Because their job is to serve you. Today, you are not serving me today.
That's correct.
You ain't serving me today. You got a day off. Tamshi.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, and then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheep before the Lord, to be accepted for you. On the morrow, after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer the day when ye wave the sheep a he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 tenth deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of a hin. Ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall
when you bring that offering, and when you eat that bread, that's after the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Because the word for, you say, you shall, on that self-same day, you say, you eat the bread, it says, lechem. It don't say matzah. Okay, read.
You shall neither eat bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheep of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
So after you count on the morrow after the Sabbath, on the 50th day is the Feast of Weeks. Okay, Tamshi.
Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days. And ye shall offer a meat offering unto the Lord, a new meat offering unto the Lord. Ye shall bring out of your habitations. 17.
Okay, go ahead.
Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2 tenth deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, 1 young bullock and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord.
Verse 33.
The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles.
Feast of Tabernacles.
For 7 days unto the Lord.
7 days unto the Lord. This is a 7-day feast. And this day also cannot be observed right here. Because when they built these tabernacles, they didn't go in the tabernacle to pray and then leave and go home. It's all games. I ain't got to build no tabernacle. I ain't got to do none of that here. You know why? Because we ain't, listen, you can't just go on the streets and just start building a tent. The police gonna come and tell you, listen, you gotta knock this down. You gotta knock this
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
You don't go over him and say, oh,
You got a permit for this?
You ain't got no permits. And when they built tabernacles and built tents, they lived in it. They didn't go in there just to say prayers or just to eat. You ain't keeping no law. There's no law being kept there. I don't have to build it. I ain't got to build it neither. I ain't got to build nothing. Well, you build it. People build it just, you know what I mean? Just for commemorating, but I ain't got to build it, and I don't sin if I don't build it. Tamshi.
And you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
And ye shall do no servile work therein. The word for servile work, again, is meleket abora. No work and no servitude. Read.
These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. An offering.
The word for Mikra, for holy convocations, Mikra Kodesh. Go ahead, read.
An offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Beside the Sabbaths of the Lord, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings which ye give unto the Lord, also on the 15th day of the seventh month.
Cut that and go to 2 Samuel 17. So the Feast of Tabernacles is not Shabbaton.
No.
I'm not mistaken. I don't think the Feast of Tabernacles, when I'm reading here, it ain't Shabbaton. Tamshi. Go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 17.
This is the party feast.
But you got Israelites that want to treat it like it's a Shabbat.
Yeah.
No, it's not a Shabbat, man. It's party time.
Yeah.
It's a festivity.
That's why the restrictions of Shabbat is not laid upon.
That's right. Tamshi.
Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, let me now choose but 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night.
You know he got to be losing it. Yeah. You already know he got to be losing it. Pursue after David? After who? Read.
And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only. You see his,
you know he off. Since when you ever heard about King David being afraid or weak or ready to run? When did you ever read about David running?
And all the people with him.
And running. All the people running. Them 600, that was no joke. Them 600 men that he had with him took down nations. That's right. That's all he needed was that 600. They ran down on everybody. Nobody was able to stand against David and them 600. That's why Nathan the prophet told him, he said, listen here, man. He said, you know your father. He said, listen, don't listen. Hushai the Archite told him, he said, man, the counsel of Ahithophel is not good. You see, your father's probably in a pit somewhere. On some pit somewhere, leaning down, watching you right now. While you talking and doing all this, he's watching you. So listen to that dude, man. That dude, your father is a warrior, and them that be with him. Like 300. Tamshi.
And I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man whom thou seekest is as if all returned.
We got to remember one thing. The reason why this went down with David's house is because God did this. He pronounced it upon David because of his shortcomings, because of what he did. And he was specific of what he did. He brought what he did when he messed around with Bathsheba, Uriah the Hittite's wife. So he told him, he said, listen, don't worry about it. Your iniquity has been erased. He said, but I'm going to raise up trouble in your house. The sword. And when God did that, he didn't tell him what. Is immediately after he did that, the first thing went down was with Amnon. All of a sudden, he desires his sister. After that, Absalom goes, he takes his life, kills him. Goes to Geshur. Stays there for 2 years. But after a certain amount of time of you not seeing your father, He missed him. So he wanted to come back. He wanted to come back. But Joab, he done forgot his place. He's like, man, listen, that's the man's son. He's a high prince. So Absalom's calling him. He won't pop up. He said, all right, I know how to get this dude out, man. I know how to get this dude out. He command certain service. He said, man, go on this field and burn him. Go on this field. I'm going to bring him out. After he burned it, he came and said, yo, man, what's up, man? Why you burning my face? He said, man, I called you. You should have came. He said, listen, man, I want to see my father's face, man. That tell you right there, it was protocol. It was protocol, man. He knew he's even though he was, I don't care, I'm his son. They didn't think that way.
He knew he couldn't just go.
The men in this book that I read about followed protocol.
I need you.
Which means in Absalom's mind, he knew that ain't mean nothing. Right. Whether I was his son or not, I'm his son, so I'm going up in there anyway. Now you're gonna get killed. You're gonna get killed. Follow the order. And this is what we don't have. We don't have that. And we ain't trying to be like that. We ain't trying to order ourselves in this manner. That's why God got us going to one spot. Until you decide with yourself to reprogram yourself the way God wants you to be, that's where you're going. Reprogram your mentality and the way you think. Because if you don't, that's where you're going. There's a thing called the pit. And you got a short time to do it. People think they got a lifestyle, a lifetime. They got a whole life. Oh, I'm young. You think you're young.
It's like a shadow.
You think you're young. We don't know. Nobody knows the time of their death. Because we all, from what I read here, God don't visit you until your cup runs over. God don't visit you until your cup runs over, which means it's a set time. God gave the children of Israel, he said, hold up on this nation here. The cup ain't ran over yet. Leave them alone. Iniquity ain't fulfilled yet. He wait until your iniquity fulfilled. Then he spread his wings on you. He spread out on you. And when that happens, there's no coming back. Most of the time, there's no coming back after that. Time sheet.
Verse 4. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel.
And the saying pleased Absalom well. Why would it please? Why you think it pleased him well? Why you think he pleased him well? It's on him.
Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he said.
One thing he was smart about. He said, listen, let me get another answer.
I like what you say.
We don't go by the same answers. Right. I got what this guy's saying. And it pleased him well. It sound good. But you know what? Let me hear what this guy said. Let me hear what Hushai said. Go ahead, read.
Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite, and let us hear likewise what he said. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel has spoken after this.
Yeah, man, this is what Ahithophel is talking about. Ahithophel said this, and this, and this, right? Told him, read.
Shall we do after his saying?
Should I follow what this guy talking about, man?
If not, speak thou. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel had given is not good at this time. For, who said Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his
man, you know your father, man. Why you acting like you don't know your pops? That's the king. Yeah, right. He said, like, you don't know how your pops get down. And you going to go at your pops like that? Go ahead and you see what happened. Read.
And his men.
That they the father and the men that he rocking with. Read.
And they be mighty men.
They mighty men.
And they be shaped in their mind.
You know what shaped in their mind mean? He said mind, memoration. It means bitter. Also means violent. He said these are violent and cruel men. There wasn't violent and cruel men there was only violent and cruel at war. The men was not just violent and cruel. They had a heart. A violent and cruel man at nature don't have a heart. That's why in Ezekiel 18 it speaks about it. It speaks about it. Tamshi.
And they be shaped in their minds
and
as
they
a
be
bear.
bereaved. Shaped in their mind as a bear bereaved of her whelps.
In the field.
In the field. The bear come. The whelps ain't there. The babies ain't there. She going crazy. Tearing down stuff looking for them whelps.
Yes.
Read.
And thy father is a man of war.
Your father's a man of war.
He will not lodge with the people.
And he don't lodge with the people. He don't stay back.
Front,
he up front.
He out there.
The man is up front.
You have to stop him.
You know, certain kings, when you watch certain movies, the people go up front. And the king is all the way in the back. Now, David was different. David was right in the front realm, ready to go. Tamshi.
Behold, he is hid now in some pit.
He said, your pop's probably hid right now in some pit. That's how hard he is. He in the pit somewhere, hiding. Read.
Or in some other place.
Or some other place.
And it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there was a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he also that is valiant, whose heart is at the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. They're not scared.
They're not scared. Nothing afraid. They ain't afraid of nothing.
David got to hold them back. Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee.
Therefore I counsel that what?
That all Israel be generally gathered unto thee.
Be generally gathered unto thee.
From Dan to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground. And of him and of all the men that are with him, there shall not be one so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten unto a city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to bring that city, and we will draw it into this river, until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel.
He realized, man.
Yeah, his is better.
He said, everybody. The counsel of Hushai is way better than what this guy told me. This guy gonna set me up.
We gonna
He said, listen, we gonna die messing around with this guy here. Read.
For the Lord had appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom.
You see, he perceived he ain't that blocked off. He said, man, God has defeated the counsel of Ahithophel to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. He said, so man, that's right. He said, man, let me get off from this here. I'm following Hushai.
Then said Hushai unto Zaccot and to Abiathar the priest, thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel. And thus have I counseled. Now therefore, send quickly and tell David, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up and all the people that are with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by En-Rogel, but they might not be seen to come into the city. And a wench went and told them, and they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom. But they went both of them away quickly and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth and spread ground corn thereon. And on the thing was not known. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, they be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass after they were departed that they came up out of the well and went and told King David, and said unto David, arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan by the morning light. There lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and got him home to his city. To his house.
See that man, they ain't listening to my counsel.
He
said he went, saddled his ass, went home and did what?
Come home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order.
Put his household in order. That's what a man is supposed to do. Put the household in order. And the order that you set is the order that is according to what God says. And sometimes a father may have their own orders. Don't do this. Keep this going on here. Keep this set up. Don't turn on this one. Right. That's setting your house in orders because you laying the boundaries now. You laying the law down. Make sure you don't turn away from God and his laws. Don't turn on this one. Keep doing this. Keep pushing that way. All that is setting your house in order. Tom Sheep.
And hanged himself.
After he done set his house in order, he hung himself. Oh, because his counsel was not regarded no more. Counsel was so basically he's saying, man, what's my place here for? Why am I here? I'm a counselor. I'm here to counsel people. And if you're not, my counsel ain't good no more, then I don't need to live.
His counsel was 100%.
At a point in time, it was good.
That was trash.
That was no more. Now, we could acknowledge one thing from that. His counsel did not get confounded until he started rocking with the ops. When he started rocking with dudes that was against David.
Thank you.
When he started rocking with dudes that got that was against God's saint and the exalted one, which is the King David, he said, whose side you think he's gonna pick? You think he's gonna walk and pick the side of his son?
You gonna switch it.
No, God don't uplift the son while the father is alive. You ain't getting no glorious praise while your father is. The praises go to your father.
That's right.
Absalom ain't realized that. Tom Sheep.
And hanged himself and died and was buried in the sepulchre of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim.
Then David came to where?
Mahanaim. And Absalom passed over Jordan.
Absalom passed over Jordan.
He and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son whose name was Ithra, an Israelite that went into Abigail, daughter of Nahash, sister to Zeruiah, Joab's mother.
Right.
So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass when David was come to Mahanaim that Shobi, the son of Nahash of Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gilead of Rogalim. They brought beds, basins, earthen vessels, and wheat, and barley, and flour, and parched corn, and beans, lentils, and parched pulse, and honey and butter, and sheep, and cheese of kine, for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry, and weary, and thirsty in the wilderness.
What verse was that?
I'm at the
That's the end of
the chapter.
Go ahead, keep going.
And David numbered the people that were with him and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. But David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and the third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also.
What verse was that?
I'm at 3 now.
3, okay, go ahead.
But the people answered, Thou shalt not go forth, for if we flee away, they will not care for us. Neither, if half of us die, will they care for us. But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore, it is better that thou succor us out of the city. And the king said unto them, What seemeth you best, I will do.
Whatever you decide and you think is better for you, I will do. See, we had a king that wasn't all about himself, is what I say, and that's it. He listened to other avenues, and he had an open ear, and if it sounded good and it was wise, he took it and did it. He wasn't big-headed. Tom Sheep.
And the king stood by the gate side, and the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Deal gently for my sake.
For my sake.
With the young man.
With the young man.
Even Absalom.
Even with Absalom. With the young man that said Nahad, right?
Right.
He said, deal gently with this guy. Right? For my sake.
For me.
Now we gotta realize something. We gotta understand something. And we gotta learn the ways of God. Why I say we gotta learn the ways of God? Because he said, deal gently for my sake. Hold on one second. Cut that off. Cut it off. Hello.